This is the Treaty of Fort Laramie. This treaty has a clause in it that is it is interesting. It's called the bad man provision. Okay, this clause is interesting because if used in the right way, it seems you can stand on this provision to enforce the wrongs that are done to you while in your right standing as an American Indian or as an Indian. You can use this provision to ensure that that someone is held responsible. I think about this provision. I think about something Vince always says to me. I'm sorry, that Obama said that all treaties are still in full effect, right? So this one is interesting in my mind because not only does it says, hey, you know, whites can be punished for crimes committed against these Indians, blacks and other Indians can be punished though. It's basically saying that if you enforce this, if you make this to be enforced, the United States has to punish its own for any wrongdoings they do to you, whether it be white men, black men, or other Indians. Because it's just basically that, the bad man provision. Now, I'm going to put a video in. I'm not going to play it. I already just got a strike for copyrights. So I'm not going to play another video, but I will put it in the description box. If you would, please go watch it, listen to it carefully, take notes from it, from what you can. Because whoever wrote this article here on Wikipedia, they make this to sound really one-sided, that it's not a good thing, in my opinion. They make it sound as if, this thing only favors the United States. But if you listen to this video, you'll see how Native Americans use this provision to get justice after the United States tried to deny them justice. How they tried to say, oh, this provision doesn't work the way you said it did. But in the appeals court, oh my goodness, stop. In the appeals court, it worked just the way it was designed to work. But like I said, I've already got 2 strikes in one month, so I don't want another one. Just trying to post stuff about the all-encompassing virus. So let's get down there to the bad man provision. It's in let's see here. There it is, Article 1. All right, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It almost makes it sound as one-sided here, to where it's only favoring the United States, so it's not a good idea. But when you listen to the video that I'm going to put in the description box, you'll see, no, whoever wrote this did this intentionally to make it sound this way.
Article 1 called for the cessation of hostilities, stating, all war between the parties to this agreement shall forever cease. If crimes were committed by bad men among white settlers, the government agreed to arrest and punish the offenders, and reimburse any losses suffered by injured parties. The tribes agreed to turn over criminals among them, any bad men among the Indians, to the government for trial and punishment, and to reimburse any losses suffered by injured parties. 31. If any Sioux committed a wrong or depredation upon the person or property on any one, white, black, or Indians, the U.S. could pay damages taken from the annuities owed the tribes. 7. 998 These terms effectively relinquished the authority of the tribes to punish crimes committed against them by white settlers. 32, 37.
And you think about this too, right? Think about this too. There's a treaty, or it's in one of the, it's either a treaty or it's in one of the charters. I think it's in one of the charters of Virginia. I think it might be in the second one. No whites were ever supposed to go west of the Allegheny Mountains. So you can almost build up a case here, right? You pull that, article, hey, no whites are supposed to go west of the Allegheny Mountains, so you're in violation of this, you know. And on top of that, you know, you have the bad man clause, you know. So you see what I'm saying? You're building up this case. Who is shooting off their gun? This is ridiculous. It's not even hunting season. Anyways, sorry, that was just distracting, all those, you know, shots. So anyways, but yeah, so you know, there's that treaty that says, I think it's a treaty. It was either that or it's a charter, but I think it's of the Charter of Virginia, the second one, that says, yeah, no whites are supposed to go west of the Allegheny Mountains, so they're in violation of that. But that's also due to what's his name there? Was it Horace Greeley, right? Horace Greeley told the slaves to start classifying themselves as white, and then to go west, young man, go west and grow up with the country, meaning go into the United States, go outside the United States, go into the American territories, become the foothold in the American territories. When you are attacked and pushed because people want you, the Indians want you out of their territory, now you can call upon the United States to come rescue you, right? And that brings the United States into territories they shouldn't be in the first place. So it's a it's a web, but it's interesting. And then here's the second half to this, and then I'll wrap it up.
Similar provisions appeared in 9 such treaties with various tribes. In practice, the bad men among the whites clause was seldom enforced. The first plaintiff to win a trial case on the provision did so in 2009, based on the 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty. 33, 2521 in 1873. The U.S. exercised the right to withhold annuities and compensate for Sioux wrongs against anyone, including Indians. After a massacre on a moving Pawnee camp during a legal Sioux hunting expedition in Nebraska, F. 34, 35, 53-7, 36, 41, 37. The Sioux were made to pay reparations for the loss of life, meat, hides, equipment, and horses stolen. 38, 46. The Pawnee received $9,000. 34, 139, 39, 154.
So I'm gonna leave this link in the description box, and like I said, I'm gonna leave a link to a video in the description box that, in my opinion, shows how the provision is supposed to work. So, you know, in my mind, I'm just trying to think of how you would use these in court to your favor, to your effect. But like I said, Vincent always says to me, you know, Obama, one of the last things he said in office was that all treaties are still in full effect. And that, always remember, it's those treaties with the original, you know, 13 colonies. Those are those ones that are important. You know, I feel the reason that the United States ones are not enforced is because we know what the United States is. But if you have a treaty that is signed between your Indian ancestors and Spain, now what? And don't forget, right? Don't forget, what was it called? The lieutenant governor. You have your governor of your state, and then you have your lieutenant governor. That lieutenant governor is supposed to handle foreign affairs on behalf of foreign monarchs, right? So we got to understand what exactly our interactions with the lieutenant governor of the state really is, and enforcing these treaties too. So, whew. And that goes against, and then the last thing too, you think about it, right? Patrick Devine goes off and does those videos talking about, oh, all of a sudden he's, you know, he and all of his listeners are Indian, you know, without doing any genealogy, you know, that they're Indians, that they have Indian ancestors. Because I mean, I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying, you know, I can say, hey, I can now walk you back in time to my grandfathers, you know, because I just don't do that. I don't do that whole maritime law thing. You are what your mother is. I do what you know, the laws of kings, the laws of common law. You are who your fathers were. That Y chromosome passed down from father to son, that's unbroken, that can trace you all the way back to Adam, like that gentleman in South Carolina. I follow that. You know, I noticed that about a lot of. I noticed that, right. Look at Native Americans, right? You got to prove that you're Native American on your mother's side, and so many grandmothers have to be Native American for you to claim Native American, right? That's what they tell you, right? Look at the Jews, right? You have to prove that you are Jewish on your mother's side, and so many mothers going back. You see a pattern taking place, right? But look at the Old Testament, right? You have to prove you are of Abraham's seed by who your fathers were, right? Because it's that chain that's connected, that goes back, that Y chromosome that goes back, that's unbroken, father to father to father, you know, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. See what I'm saying? So I look at that and I think, you know, look at look at my genealogy. My sister, she put together all this work. You know, there's our father, there's his father before him, there's his father, and all of us were labeled as black, right? But our fourth great grandfather, now he was the one that was born as Indian on the Dawes Rolls from Mississippi, right? And it has Indian, it has white, and it has what was it, black on there, and it's checked Indian. But as we do the census throughout the years, he goes from Indian, how to go from Indian to mulatto to Negro, and when he died a black man. But then we can go back into his father, Choctaw Indian. His father, Choctaw Indian. You know, our grandmother, right? Our grandmother on our dad's side, our dad's mother. You know, we trace hers back. Her ancestors come from Jamaica, right? Changed his name when he left Jamaica and came to the Carolinas, which we believe it's the South Carolina, but it just says Carolina. Anyways, and he brought his own slaves, 9 of them. Didn't know that, but now I can prove that. So I'm not guessing, I'm not pulling something out of thin air saying, oh, I'm an Indian, you know, like he just did, and like he told everybody in his class to do. No, I can actually now show you, hey, I didn't record this. It was recorded by someone else's hand. That no, in fact, we are the people, we come from the Choctaw Nation, who originally are the people from what? The West, the far West. It says somebody chased them or something chased them out of the far West to make them come to the eastern seaboard. So I know my home is supposed to be in the West, you know, and I'm not just pulling something out of thin air so I can access an account and, you know, and gain, you know, revenue and sources of income that I, you know, that don't belong to me. So I just, you know, it's just something I thought about when you go over this. You know, you know, they who, if that's the case, you know, and Patrick Devine is an Indian, you know, and everyone in his class is an Indian, and we just don't understand the definition of an Indian. Then who were the Indians that the whites were signing this treaty with on the behalf of the United States? You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, it's like the European issue, right? You can't be the invading barbarians while at the same time you're the Europeans sitting there, and you when you watch the illustrations of what these people look like, you both look alike.